All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I am going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Mad Statter today, and this is Chatter with Statter. Looks like we've got some folks in the house, and I'm already pushing all the wrong buttons. So, instead of pushing buttons, why don't I say, hey, Terry, how's it? Coming in with a party of 4 with that raid. Pinnell in on that raid, and looks like we've got Elaine on that their YouTube side. Katie Zora, I'm thinking, came in with that raid. That's what she's repping, at least. We have got, who else? We've got E-Music coming on in. Pinnell, Darlene. Oh my goodness, me with a huge yawn because there's no coffee today. I'll get into why I've got no coffee today. Let's see here. Terry and Scotland already said hi, but hey, how's it again? Rick, Pinnell, all right, Darlene, Pinnell, Terry, E-Music, Darlene, the usual suspects. Fantastic. Always the first ones up at the front of the classroom. Alrighty, so let's see here. Why don't we get the party started, and then I'll explain to you why I don't have any coffee. Boop. Oops, I forgot to turn that meow, forgot to turn the meow off. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Pinnell, I don't know where the kittens are right now. They are all out and about doing their things, looking for coffee for mom, probably. Yeah, during that little intro at the very end, when the cat yawned, I yawned as well. So if you heard a really big yawn, that wasn't the cat. That was actually me. And thank you, Terry and Scotland, for those 1,000 biddies. Normally, I have my afternoon coffee because that's what I do, but alas, I cannot get coffee right now. I'm going to actually have to start making my own for I don't know how long, because yesterday, my coffee stand got knocked off its foundation. It's one of those coffee stands that's like in the middle of a parking lot. And people who don't know how to drive, on occasion, hit, usually just like the roof line, because their truck is big. And as they're trying to turn and make the corner around it, they hit the corner of the roof. Well, that happened. But this person who stole a work van to go get coffee. Yeah. So let's rewind a little bit. You're at work. You want coffee. No one's there to get it, and instead of door dashing coffee, you decide it's just down the road. No one will notice if I take the retirement home bus/van to go pick up a quick cup of coffee, right? Maybe. They might have even done it before successfully. But, this time, they took the retirement home van. And when I say van, I mean like, you know, the kind of van that is more like a bus than a van. That you like have to walk up into. You know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, they took that monstrosity to go get some coffee. The van bus got caught on the roof. Now, instead of stopping and reversing and changing course, the van just kept going and literally tore the building off of its foundation. Okay? Pipes were busted, tore the building off its foundation. My friend Missy, who also, actually, this is a client of ours, so she called me today and was like, you're not going to believe, this is why I know exactly what happened. I know the owner. And she was in the building when it happened. She was like, it was like an earthquake. She tried to like run out of the building to tell the person, stop. But by the time she got to the, like, she's getting thrown through, you know, the building is earthquaking basically. She finally gets to the back door, but the back door at that point is jammed shut because it's all burr. And so she finally busted her way out and then told the person, you know, stop. And so she got the, insurance information and everything. But, you know, total eyewitnesses. I mean, talk about I mean, I can't do a lot before I have my coffee in the morning. But if the one thing I can do when I don't have my coffee in the morning is drive myself to the Flippin' Flirpin' coffee stand so I can get my coffee in the morning. Oh my God. But yeah, so this chick is freaking out. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to be so fired. I wasn't even supposed to take the van. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know what's going to happen with that retirement home chick. I can only assume that she is going to get fired. But alas, but did the van driver got their coffee before they hit the stupid thing, before they hit the building. So I don't even. But what I do know is, Rick, you're asking, was that coffee shop an old photomat? No, but essentially the same concept as a photomat. It's just this little, the parking lot, the strip mall and parking lot that it's in is really new. So like definitely not old enough to be a photomat in that area. And it didn't used to be such a big deal, but the parking lot had to shrink a little bit because of, I don't really understand why, but the parking lot had to shrink. There's some kind of like contaminated dirt in the vicinity, and they had to create this like dirt decontamination station in part of the parking lot where the coffee stand is. So part of the dirt decontamination station footprint went into the parking lot, which made this one corner just a little bit more difficult. Okay, a lot bit more difficult for people in larger vehicles. Honestly, I feel like because the stand has been hit twice since that dirt decontamination station has been put into place. Frankly, I kind of feel like she needs to be a little bit litigious about whoever okayed that design, because it's literally ruining her business, like literally destroying her business. And Darlene, it wasn't really a stolen van so much as like an unofficially used, borrowed without consent from a workplace. So I'm sure, I mean, like, it wasn't like they hot wired it, and I have no doubt in my mind that the person who hit the building, their employer will view it as stealing the vehicle. But it wasn't exactly stealing the vehicle. I mean, she had the keys, she had access, she just didn't have reason to be out there in it. That was the real sticky wicket, right? And let's see here. Oh my God, Elaine, I used to work in a photo booth that was banged by a lady that wasn't very nice, and she told me why I put that cabin in the parking lot. Crazy driver. Well, geez Louise, lady, have you not seen a photo booth before in the middle of a parking lot? I mean, those have been the norm since at least the 1970s. And doing the math that I know from my own personal life, that's like 50 years, lady. Get up. And let's see here. Elaine, I am still here according to all of my everythings. So I don't think I'm gone, but it looks like Rick says I'm still here. Oh, restart back to the beginning. Yeah, go smush it to the end then. That doesn't make sense, but I think you know what I mean. And let's see here. Terry is bragging, just a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of Douai Egberts. What? And my hot water dispenser is all I need for a cup of coffee. What's a Douai Egberts? Douai Egberts. But actually, you know what, Terry? You just reminded me. I actually do have some instant coffee that with my instant hot water dispenser, I could make myself a crummy cup of coffee right now. I might actually do that. But yeah, I actually do, thanks to Bainy Bo and thanks to Terry in Scotland. They insisted that I needed an instant hot water dispenser. And I said to myself, that's stupid and no way. And I don't have room on my counter for that kind of anything. Because I don't really have room on my counter for anything. But then I started thinking about it. And I ended up finding a hot water dispenser on sale. And I think I like just used a bunch of points or something. And I ended up getting it for like really cheap, if not free. And yeah, you know what? That hot water dispenser, y'all, you think you don't need one until you have one. Serious as a heart attack. I use that thing more often than, I use it more often than my rice cooker. I use it multiple times every day. I use it to help clean little dishes because I don't need necessarily a whole hot, like the hot water takes so long to get hot in my kitchen that if I'm just like cleaning a cup, I would rather use the hot water dispenser hot water to clean the cup than the kitchen sink water. Oh my, I can't even explain to you. Really, you guys, a hot water dispenser is a very useful luxury. And if you have room on your countertop, you probably need one more than you ever thought you needed one. Ever. I especially like to use mine actually for, I know this is very strange, but after I wash, because for those of you who've been around here for a while, you know that I don't have a dishwasher. Again. Anyway, because I hand wash my dishes, and then, you know, you rinse the soap off or whatever, I like to put my rinsed utensils, especially, in a cup of like boiling the 212 degree water. After I rinse them, I like put them kind of in the hot water to rinse them again. And then that way they're like really clean. Like, you know, boiling hot water, rinsed off kind of clean. And how long does it take to heat the water in the hot water dispenser? Well, my hot water dispenser holds 3 liters in its container, but you can only dispense 16 ounces at a time. And I think it takes about a minute for 16 ounces to come out. So it doesn't come rushing out, but it heats instantly as it dispenses. But in order to get that full 16 ounces of hot water, it would probably take about a minute to fill this up. And so, now Bainy Bo, he says he uses it to help heat, like if he's going to make pasta or macaroni or something, and you have to boil the water first, he uses his hot water dispenser to dispense the super hot water, and then puts it on the stove so it heats up faster. I don't think it heats up so much faster that I bother to do that. But when it comes to like my ramen, my instant ramen, or like I said, I use it a lot when washing dishes. So and keeping stuff clean. Like, if I want to wipe down the counter with like really hot water, I'll boop-a-doop, I'll run it for a little while. And oh really, Terry, yours doesn't have an automatic shutoff? Yeah, mine has 4 different ounces that it can dispense. 6 ounces, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, and 16 ounces. But if you only want like a little splash on, say, your washcloth, you can just push the button and then push it again, and it'll start and stop, and it'll be fine. But yeah, when it comes, I use it a lot for wiping down my counters or cleaning off the cutting board with like super hot water. So yeah, that's what I do. Hey, Picola T, are you making fun of my boop-a-doops, my burp-a-derps? I do all those things. And Katie's Aura, a drunk raccoon, was passed out in a Virginia liquor store. I saw that and I thought about grabbing that video as a companion to a video I already have today. And so since we're talking about it, why don't we talk about our furry friends, the raccoons? Did y'all hear about that raccoon that broke into the liquor store, drank a bunch of liquor, and actually some of it looks like it was kind of expensive because it's the kind that comes in its own box. You know what I'm talking about? And then the raccoon had the decency, the forethought, the wherewithal to find itself in the bathroom, and it just passed out in the bathroom. And so apparently they took him to the shelter and let him detox and sober up, and then they let him back out in the woods. But you guys, clearly this is a case of a city raccoon, because city raccoons and country raccoons are almost evolving into two different species. In the sense that one of them is remaining very wild, but the other one is slowly domesticating itself. And you can tell by a lot of different behaviors and things. And science has a reason for this. But actually what's happening right now, they've noticed, happened to when foxes were being domesticated in Russia. When foxes were being domesticated in Russia, foxes developed floppier ears and a more rounded snoot instead of the pointed snoot that the foxes normally have. Well, raccoons also have quite a pointed snoot. And I did notice that the mom raccoon of the raccoon kits that hang out in my backyard has a remarkably dog-like snoot. She is absolutely rounded and very used to people. And basically what I thought, hey, Devil's Lake Food, what I thought I was observing, which with her rounder nose, I really truly thought that I was just like making that up. But to me, her nose just seemed distinctly rounder than those of her children. And as it turns out, science backs up my observation. So check this out.
A new study shows raccoons are evolving and trying their hardest to become our pets. Let me explain. The study has been comparing urban raccoons to their country counterparts and has revealed that city living is triggering rapid evolution, and the reason is kind of ironic. Every time we design a new complicated latch on a garbage bin, for example, we're applying what scientists call selective pressure, where we're forcing only the smartest and most adaptable raccoons to survive and reproduce. But the raccoons are also figuring out that if they just endure our presence and aren't aggressive, they can easily feast on our scraps. Exactly how dogs were originally domesticated, by coexisting near humans and eating their scraps. But the clearest sign is that city raccoons are also physically changing to look cuter. They're getting shorter snouts, floppy ears, curly tails, the same traits observed when foxes were bred for purely tame behavior. A new study shows raccoons are evolving and trying their hardest to become our pets. Let me explain. The study has been comparing urban raccoons.
God dang it, I always have those stupid videos on loop, and I don't want them on loop, so sorry about having to showing you the beginning of that again. But yes, that was definitely, nice jump, wasn't it? Yeah, totally. And yes, raccoons are cool because they have fingers and they wash everything before they're eating. Yes, and that actually is another thing that makes raccoons semi-ideal for domesticating, because they are so clean. They can be potty trained. They are a very clean animal, and so potty training, obviously, with any kind of wild animal that you're trying to domesticate, it's one of the main issues, right? Well, raccoons are all about that, and so I am not recommending you get a raccoon for a pet. I am very specifically recommending against it, but apparently raccoons are more willing to be our pets than the average run-of-the-mill wild animal that you might see in your backyard. And I do know that that raccoons. Look, y'all, my dad was a cat whisperer like nobody's business. My dad was very in tune with the animals. He grew up on a farm. He grew up in the middle of the wilderness on a farm in Indiana, and even he was able to, back in the 1940s, able to raise a raccoon kit and have it for a pet for a little while. But once it got to full sexual maturity, and it's full on beyond adolescence, but grown up raccoon, not as easy of a little cute thing to handle, and with a mind of its own, and a very, very sharp claws, because those fingers are cute fingers, but them claws aren't fingernails. They be claws. And eventually the raccoon had to go. My grandma told my dad, no. Once he started climbing the curtains in the house, my grandma said, no, you can't keep him in the house anymore. He has to be an outside raccoon for you. And so he was friends with the raccoon after he let the raccoon back outside. But basically the raccoon was like, this is where I'd rather be. Thank you. And yeah, you heard they keep their dens, home areas clean. Even with their litters, they keep that clean too. They push the young only to certain areas for their potty going. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And yeah, Trail Desk, we're talking about the raccoons. I don't know if you heard about it, but in Virginia, a raccoon broke into a liquor store, decided to have its fill, and then wandered into the bathroom where it proceeded to pass out. And then the next day, when they opened the liquor store, they were like, wow, a really short burglar just like ransacked the bottom shelf of the entire store. What's going on here? And then they wandered into the bathroom and were like, oh, there's the short burglar. Got it. And let's see here. Pecola T, no, I don't know what a group of raccoons is called. Is it called a... Oh, I want a like, yeah, I was going to say a bandit, or a band. Yeah, I don't know. I want to say something to do with bandits, because they're little bandits. And let's see here. My dad used to say, me and my brother were like pet raccoons. Well, we couldn't tear up. We pooped on. Nice. And oh, it's a nursery of raccoons. Oh, I had no idea. I had no clue. No, even if they're all grown up, it's called a nursery. Okay. Right, yeah, they come equipped with their own masks. Yes, and so not only are they little burglar and bandits, but also I just showed a video where they're finding out that city raccoons and country raccoons are kind of evolving on separate tracks. City raccoons are generally way smarter, not because they're innately smarter, but because they face more puzzles in their day-to-day life within the modern world, undoing latches, getting into mischief, getting into cans, trying to open up Tesla trucks because they think that they're trash bins, that kind of thing. Whereas in the woods, the wooded raccoons basically have the same set of tools and puzzles that they've always had, whereas the urban ones are discovering new ways to work their mind and be creative little monsters. And so they're actually becoming a little bit smarter, and they're evolving to look cuter with shorter, rounder snouts and floppier ears and curlier tails. And they're slowly on the track to becoming domesticated. And yeah, their daily experiences. Exactly, Darlene. And so, yeah, they have way more problems to solve and way more things to learn than the average country mouse. And hey, Midnight Frequency Radio, we are talking about the difference between city raccoons and country raccoons. And we're talking about the raccoon that got drunk in the Virginia liquor store. And he's clearly a city raccoon. And let's see here. Facebook has a video of a bear throwing a fit at a bear-proof bin. Right, that does not surprise me. And Trail Desk, you've just got the country raccoons, cowboy hats and all. There you go. Yeah, and you know, though, what I would like to see, Terry, so it sounds like there's that video of the bear throwing a fit at a bear-proof bin. I would like to see that same bin with a human throwing a fit because they can't figure out how to work it either. Because one of the reasons why, if you go camping, you know, in the national forest and things, there's no dumpsters that are easy to open. You have to go through rigmaroles to open the dumpster to throw your trash in. And you have to wonder, you know, basically a ranger once said to someone, not me, but I've heard this, and I do believe it's true, there is a certain amount of overlap between the smartest bear and the dumbest human. So you have to make the trash can usable for the dumbest human, but that trash can will probably also be able to be at least opened, not by every bear, but the smartest bear. So I can only assume that if that bear bin was so difficult to open that even the smartest bear couldn't open it, that also the dumbest human couldn't either. And I would love to see a video of that, of these human trying to figure out how to open it and throwing a fit just like that bear. And exactly, Darlene, country raccoons are mean. They really are. You don't mess with them. They are truly a wild animal. I agree. And I can't tell you how many arguments I've gotten on the Facebooks over this type of thing, the interwebs, because so many people are absolutely terrified of raccoons. And there is an element of truth to why you should be. But 9 times out of 10, if you're in the city, that raccoon doesn't care. The only thing that raccoon cares is where your trash might be. They're not aggressive to animals the way the country ones are. I can't tell you how many times I've had a raccoon in my house with my cats, and it's not been a big deal. Now, granted, the cats don't like it, and the cats are generally the most aggressive in those two, of those two. But it really, first off, not suggesting you let a raccoon in your house. That's not what I'm saying here. But what I am saying is, raccoons in the city are a whole different animal than raccoons in the country. Even though they're the same, they're different. And they'll eat my Aries up. I don't know, my Aries, my little babies. I don't know what an Airy is. They'll eat your Aries up. They won't eat my babies. Raccoons are forever hangry. Food on the brain 24/7. Oh, my arse. They will eat my arse up, even the babies. Yeah, the country raccoons will, but the city raccoons, they know to keep their distance and just wait. They'll drop food. Like, don't chase them for their food. Just wait. They'll drop the food. We'll get food from these big, puffy, hairless creatures. They know that we're easy pickings. As long as they just wait patiently, they will get into the stash. Yeah, they wait to get drunk. Or in the case of, I went camping once, and my friend made some medicinal fudge with some medicinal flowers in it, and he accidentally left the hunk of it on the picnic table overnight, and so one of the raccoons got into it. And I happen to, we feel fairly certain it was only one of the raccoons that got into it, because that one raccoon the next morning was very just hanging out in the campsite, man. I'm just gonna sit here for a while, just going back and forth. It was really funny, but at the same time it also wasn't, because, you know, he didn't consent to taking drugs. He didn't know that he was going to take drugs. We didn't mean to drug him, but he was stardust in the night. Oh my goodness. He was, yeah, and he was the only one that was still in the campsite the next day, just doing its thing. So, and yeah, trail dust. He ate enough food that, a medicated food that I'm sure he kept wanting to eat the medicated food because it kept giving him the munchies or something. And, Pinnell, right. So a city raccoon in Toronto, what did they do? Did they attack a human? No. Could they have attacked a human? Yes. What did they do? They attacked a bakery instead. They went and they got their donut holes. They got their croissant. They got their pain au chocolat. They got their breads. They got their bagels. They got all those things. They got their carb on. Yeah, he was feeling no pain from what I can understand. And I'm pretty sure later that afternoon he took a really long nap. And yes, animals do often eat spoiled fruit for the alcohol. In fact, I have suspected, I didn't do a drug and alcohol test on them, but my neighbor used to have a lot of apple trees. They have since cut most of them down, but the apple trees were fruit producing, and they never really picked I don't know why they planted the apple trees, because they never picked the apples. The apples always ended up on the ground. And, oh no. And anyway, there was a bunch of squirrels. The apples had been on the ground for a while. Okay, a while. And there was a bunch of squirrels, and pretty soon they were acting loopy. Like they were falling off the fence, and I don't know if they were drunk, but by looking at them, they were drunk. I mean, they had to have been, because I had never seen a squirrel that... Squirrels don't normally just fall off fences, right? They're good at tight walking on wires and branches and things. But yeah, no, I'm pretty sure these squirrels were drunk. And I am absolutely much happier to have witnessed the drunken squirrels rather than the Olean fried potato chips. Yeah. The time your ex-boyfriend fed potato chips to squirrels, chips fried in Olean, known to cause diarrhea. Oh. And even if it didn't cause the diarrheas, at least it also just causes pain of bloating. And, not a good thing. God dang it.
Hey, the kidnappers. Can you take your kid back, please? Please, we'll pay you. Take this little shit off. Hey.
Someone's calling me, and that's my ringtone. Let's see. Finally, he ate a bear claw. Oh, really? Wait, who ate the bear claw? Ooh, bear claws are delicious. I want to eat a bear claw. I would love to eat a bear claw. But yeah. Oh, excuse me. I need that cup of coffee. Good Lord. Yeah. Anyway, so aminals, sometimes they might like getting drunk, but I'd like to think that they consent to it and look for it. I'm not so sure they knew what that fudge was, what had in for them. I don't think that fudge, they knew what was coming with that fudge. And let's see here. You saw a video about some birds waiting for this one kind of tree with fruit, a different kind of berry, and they'd purposely wait till they knew the fruit was fermented, ate some, and then staggered all over the ground and could hardly take off. That is so cute. It also sounds like something that only birds in very low predatory area would ever have that habit, right? Because I mean, for real, they must have not had to worry about not being able to fly away. You must have, it's like, oh, it's totally the week off, dude. The coyotes, they're up in the hill country, and the raccoons, I hear they've gone down to the ocean. So now up, in the valley, we just get the fruit and we can just lay down and take a rest and get drunk and just drink our berries all day. And isn't there some kind of sea creature that dolphins purposely eat to get high? I don't know. I feel like that is so maybe true. But all I can think, the only thing that, Pukola T, that you're saying that I am, the only thing I can think of that dolphins, I mean, yes, they might do that, but what you just said reminds me of how some dolphins in certain areas will take a sea sponge and put it like on their nose while they're snuffling through the sand to eat sand dollars. Because their nose, like going through the sand, it's abrasive, and it might scratch it a little bit, and it's not super comfortable. And so they put a little spongy nose cap so it doesn't hurt as much when they go searching for sand dollars. And it started out with one or two dolphins figuring that out, and then slowly it spread throughout that area. And I don't think every dolphin does it, but dolphins that know to do it, they know. Yep, they've been taught. They know the way. And exactly, drunk, reckless birds flying. Drunk birds recklessly flying. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if that sounds like a good plan. And okay, so let's see here. Pufferfish. There we go. Goofle says dolphins are observed purposely interacting with pufferfish to experience a trance-like state. Likely due to the neurotoxin they release, rather than consuming the fish, the dolphins gently chew on the pufferfish to stimulate the release of the toxin into the water, which they then absorb. Let's do some puffers, man! Yeah, dude! Come on over, Finn. We're gonna do some puffers tonight. Fantastic, Flipper. That sounds like a good time. You want me to bring anything? I don't know, man. Maybe bring a sponge for later. We might get the munchies and look for some sand dollars. Let's do it. I suppose I could have done that with Naked Sock Puppet Theater, but instead I figured it'd be better if the dolphins phoned each other. I mean, I guess that's silly, but yeah, there we go. Pass the puffer, man. Exactly. Oh, do I? I've never seen Finding Nemo, but do I sound like the turtles in Finding Nemo? Were the turtles Cheech and Chong by any chance? Pass the puffer, man. And I wonder, Verity, if running gets horses high the way, like, you know, the endorphin rush that humans say that they get a runner's high. Or let me rephrase that. I've been told that these weirdos who are people who like run a lot, they tell me they get high from it. I'd rather pass the puffer, frankly, but whatever. Hey, Gil Soto, good to see you. We're talking about raccoons. Now we're talking about dolphins getting high off pufferfish and whether or not horses get high from running, because we know that people don't, okay? I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what any runner tells me. I don't care what Bill Nye the Science Guy and his long-legged musculature, skin and bones running person tells me. Yeah, weirdos like your marathon running Mr. P, exactly. I don't care what they tell me. There ain't no high you get from running for 26 miles. The only high you get from running for 26 miles is knowing that that's all I'm ever going to have to run in my entire life. Yeah, they run for no real reason, apparently. I guess they might get a high from it. I don't know. What I do know, though, I saw a video about this kid who, and I mentioned this video before when we talked about kratom, whatever. Kratom, however you say it, is an herb from Southeast Asia that is sort of like heroin, but sort of not, and it can make you feel really calm, but it also can make you really feel good and euphoric. Anyway, this kid, he was buying this like 5-hour energy-like drink. Not 5-hour energy. 5-hour energy does not have kratom in it, but it was something like that. It was not 5-hour energy. Something like it. And he would buy one every day before his run to help and give him energy. And so those were some of the best runs of his life. And then one of his friends pointed out, you do know that you're getting high by drinking that, right? And that's not the runner's high that you're feeling. That's the little bottle of high that you're feeling. And he didn't realize that. He just thought it was like, energies and vitamins. He didn't realize there was another supplement in that situation. Yeah, so his runner's high wasn't nearly as runners caused. And immersion in water creates the same kind of endorphin response. Oh, well, now that I can agree with. I can absolutely agree with immersion in water. That does get me a little euphoric. The only time Molly might run would be if she was being chased by someone. I mean, yeah, maybe, but the thing is between my slow action and my bum knee and my arthritic ankle, there's really not, what I would call running at my fastest. Most people would be like, yeah, it was a walk. Not even a brisk walk. I didn't even have to break it. I just had to increase my stride a little bit to catch up with her. Oh yeah, she was huffing and puffing and she was trying to get far fast, but I just walked because, she eventually stopped and doubled over. And so I just walked the extra 5 feet to get to her, and then I got her. So yeah, I don't know, Terry. I don't know how much running I would be doing. Because I really don't think that running would do me any good. And so you get the runner's trip and fall like me. Yeah, there you go. There you go. And let's see here. Darlene, oh no, you're gonna be staying at home tomorrow for sure. 9 degrees is way too low for a high. So definitely stay cozy. I hope you've got some warm soups still available in your cupboard. I know that you made chili the other night. Frankly, I think you should make chili again, because it sounds like you might need chili again. Ooh, or maybe chicken and dumplings. I've never made chicken and dumplings, but that just sounds like a cozy meal. And does Lono have a song about running? No, but this time Lono does have a song about cowboys. I know last stream I said it was about cowboys. It wasn't. It wasn't about cowboys. But this song is about cowboys. So let's listen to songs about cowboys. All right, let's do it. Boop.
All right. Saddle up. Let's go. There is a man named Jimmy D. Shell. Imuha Molokai, Paniolo. Eana Paakane Molokai Ranch. Imuha Molokai, Paniolo. Me Molokai Nuiahina. There is a man named Cowboy Chuka. Imuha Molokai, Paniolo. E hana paakane ia kaula ili. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Me Molokai nui ahina. These, just a few, Molokai paniolo. You know? Ready. There is a man named Imonaki. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Eana paakane Uohoku Ranch. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Me Molokai nuiahina. There is a man named Gotiwa. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Eana paakane Kapuale Ranch. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Me Molokai nuiahina. Two more. Molokai paniolo. You know? There is a man named Buzzy Sprout. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Ehana paakane Molokai mule ride. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Me Molokai nuiahina. There is a man named Damien Place. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Kilo na paniolo a o Molokai. Imuha Molokai paniolo. Me Molokai nuiahina. These, just a few, Molokai paniolo. You know? Ah, seria. Vai bukako. say that.
All right, there we go. So, went and got myself some instant coffee. And there we go. Alrighty. So, let's see here, Pinnell. I got flannel line jeans. Ooh, that sounds fancy. I've never heard of such shenanigans, but that sounds like a very good plan for -3 or whatever. 9. 9 is what Darlene and Rick are facing tomorrow. And eMusic, I can only assume eMusic's got to be roughly in the same frigid temperature zone. And eMusic is going to the doctor tomorrow because she probably has a good reason, but she's also insane. If I was facing 9-degree weather, I would not go outside. No, I would not. I would be stuck inside, and I would be happy to be stuck inside. Unless, of course, I didn't have any beer, in which case I would be unhappy, but I would still be stuck inside. And, you know what? Speaking of beers, you guys, last week I went to, I know this is a little bit of a stretch, but last week, I don't know if I mentioned, but I went to a casino last week on Tuesday night. One of my friends decided to splurge for a hotel at the Emerald Queen Casino in Tacoma. And so we, two of my friends, myself and 2 of my friends, we went there. And we had a night at a hotel casino, a casino at the hotel. And it was a little pretend vacation. And we went gambling. Now, I am not much of a gambler at all. I don't look at gambling as something I'm spending my money on to take money home with. I don't look at it as a way to go winning money. It's just entertainment to pass time. For instance, if I go to a casino with $100, once the $100 is done, even if it only lasted me an hour, it's done. I don't get more, you know? I look at that $100 as how long can this $100 last me for entertainment? Just like, if it costs $25 to go to a movie, get a soda, get a, popcorn, that's $25 for 2 hours of entertainment, right? So I look at it as entertainment only. I have drug addictions, but gambling is not one of them at all. So we go to the casino, and my friend Mary and I are new to this casino. We don't know anything about nothing. And so, but we decided we were going to be smart. We're so smart, SMRT. We were going to be smart, and we were going to get a player's card. Because if you're going to give them your money, you might as well get points for the money you're giving them. Even if it takes forever to add up, might as well, right? So we got our player's card. Now, when you play, there's a slot in all the machines that you go to play on where you put your player's card in, where they account for what you're putting in. They keep track of it. We also remember we're staying at the hotel, and the hotel is attached to the casino. And for security purposes, once you're in the hotel and you want to use the elevator to get up to your room, you have to use your key card for your room to use the elevators to go up and down. And I don't really know why this matters, because really all it is it's a key card, for your room. So, because Mary and I are so smart, we were drinking a little bit in the hotel room along with the host of the event. We were drinking in the hotel room. So we were drinking before we went down to the casino. So by the time we went down to the casino, we were a little bit tipsy. So we go and we're playing. And of course, the the host, Judy, she's off on her own thing because this is her scene. She is a gambler. That's why she's got all these extra points to spend on us, because that's why we went, was she just had accumulated so many points. She wanted to spend. So anyway, she's off doing her thing. So Mary and I are sitting at machines next to each other, and we're playing. And then I say to her, oh my God, Mary, don't forget to put in your player's card. Because we'd been playing for like an hour probably without putting in the player's card. So both of us, you know, at this point, oh, that's right, put in our player's card. So we put in our player's cards. And then we leave the machine. And it's like, oh my God, I left my player's card. Hold on, got to go back. So we kept track of our player's cards so impeccably well. It was really important that we did this. And so then I was looking through my wallet to get like another 20 to play in the machine. And I pulled out, you know, this is a machine that I'd already been at where I put my card. My card was already inserted in this machine, right? And so I'm looking through my wallet to get my money, and I pull out my player's card. All night, we'd been putting our elevator cards in our player card slot. So, basically for the entire night, our elevator got credit for all of our money. So yeah, Paculti, players cards are always smart. The people who carry them are not always smart. Or if they are, they're SMRT. I mean SMART. Yeah, I probably paid about $13 on this card. The other like 60 was on the elevator card. So, yeah. The elevator had a wonderful evening. The elevator had a wonderful night. She walked away with an extra $30 in her pocket. It was great. The elevator. So yeah, I haven't logged in. I am very curious to see what actually did end up on the player's card, because I'm guessing it was maybe $13 worth of bets at that point. Yeah. Let's see here. No, it wasn't against the credit card, Darlene. It was the elevator card. Yeah, definitely not against a credit card. No, and well, even if it was a credit card, it wouldn't have read anything, because you can't use a credit card at the machines. You have to either use your voucher from a previous machine or cash, because I think it's illegal in Washington State to gamble on a credit card. Now, granted, if you went to the ATM and took cash money out of the ATM on your credit card, well, that's the foolishest thing you could do, but that's legal. You just can't use the actual credit card for the gambling. But yeah, the elevator is what got that one. The elevator won big that night. And let's see here. I won a room playing blackjack in the Sahara once. The carpets were built up so much static that the dry air, every time I reached for a doorknob, I got zapped. Oh yeah, no, that sounds awful. But yeah, that happens here in Washington too, in the middle of the winter when everything is all super dried out. And retired musician friend said when he worked Las Vegas, he'd change large sums into chips, hold them, then cash them back out at a later date, and it got him onto the high rollers list and comps. Nice. Yeah, you know what, Pocola T? Usually the machine will flash card not read or reinsert. I have no doubt in my mind that the card, it didn't say that on any of the machines, but it did have a little glowing red or green. And when it was red is when you would put your card in. My best guess is it would turn green if I had used this. Whereas when I was using this, it just was red, which basically sort of means nothing. The slot was basically empty, as far as the slot was concerned. Basically, the slot was asking, is it in yet? But anyway, and let's see here. Good thing I could see intoxicated people could accidentally put in their credit card. Yes, good safety measure to keep credit cards off machines. Yeah, totally. It's not really a reader except for just, the whatever info is on this little magnetic strip. And yeah, Pinnell, I can only assume that the elevator is probably the highest roller in that entire casino. Every day, that elevator, I'm sure, gets money. I mean, and I do wonder, like, if there is a way. I mean, I guess there isn't a magnetic card on the. I do wonder if there's any way that they can keep track of idiots like us that did that. You know, because I can't be the only one, right? Well, I mean, I know I'm not the only one. My friend Mary did the exact same thing. We both pulled out, like, oh, don't forget your cards, and we pulled out the the elevator card. I don't even. Yeah, the elevator broke. The elevator broke, even if it was up and down. Yep. Hey, Sue Honda, good to see you. I'm just talking about my latest gambling foray. I wouldn't even call it a binge. Went to Emerald Queen Casino last Tuesday night. No, not last Tuesday night, but Tuesday night before, and got my fancy player's card so I could make sure all of my money was accounted for that I gave the house. But instead of using my player's card, I was inserting the elevator card the whole evening because I am a smarty every day. Yeah, the casino machines only read players' cards. They won't read anything else. Exactly, yeah. So I've got myself, by the way, for those of you who are wondering, got myself some instant coffee during that Lono break. And the instant coffee is from, let's see here. It's TNI King Coffee. Instant coffee mix 3-in-1. Cream, coffee, and sugar. And I think you get these in China. So, I don't actually know if I'm drinking coffee because these are all Chinese. But the owner of Waku gave me a handful of them a few months ago, and I put them in my drawer. And now I'm using them today. So how are you able to play the machines if it only reads player cards? Oh, well, because you don't need... Okay, because the player's cards don't have any kind of money value attached to them. Player's cards are just there to accumulate, hey, this person spent $100 tonight. And for $100, she gets to accumulate 2 points. Or I don't know how the point thing goes, right? But if you don't have a player's card, you're still allowed to play the game. Because the player's card slot is over, it's like over here. The money in slot is over here. It has nothing, they're two separate slots. And so you can either put in cash money, or you can put in this, it's like a receipt, but it has a barcode on it and then an amount, like 40 cents or $66 or $112.32. And so if you've got, if you've got like $100 that you're winning and then you're like, this machine's pissing me off. So you press, cash out, and it spits out that voucher for $102.35. And then you can either go to the cashier and cash that in, or you can go to another machine and put that $100.35 into that machine and start playing there. And so when you're finally done, you in theory take out the cash voucher that you hopefully are going to be leaving with, unless you lost all your money, in which case you don't get no voucher. And then you go to the cashier, or they've actually got machines as well that you can cash out with. But the machines don't give you coins. So if you've got $30.55 as a winning ticket, which that's what I left with the next day, was $30.55. You only get $30. They keep the 55, unless you go to the cashier booth window, in which case I'm assuming they will give you your coins. They better give you your coins, in my opinion. But we didn't do that because they make it easier for you to cash out via the machines than the cashier booth. Because there's only like 2 cashier booths in the whole casino. that I saw. Whereas everywhere there's an ATM, there's also a machine to cash in your voucher. So they've got those all over the place. And let's see here. Casino vouchers have replaced coins and cash much cleaner. Exactly. And Verity, yeah, as far as the coinage goes, it is a bit of a grift. That's why I hope that if you go to the actual window, you get the coins. Because if you don't, that'd piss me off. But I can totally see why from the machines, they're just like, meh. And Picola T, some voucher redemption machines give you the option to donate your change to charity. I didn't notice that on these machines. That doesn't mean it wasn't an option. I was cashing out the next day, and it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was really hungover, and I was also really disturbed. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I mean, I have been around addicts my whole life. Meth addicts, coke addicts, alcohol addicts, weed addicts, you junkies, dude, name it. I have been in and around these cultures a lot. Whoa, dude. Casinos are a next level of addiction that I am just not used to. First off, there were plenty people that I recognized at 9 o'clock in the morning from 1 o'clock in the morning the night before. I was just like, I recognize that guy and that hat and that jacket. There was no like, oh my God. And then there was plenty of people who clearly were starting their day off at the casino. And they didn't really look like they were, I mean, they looked like they had come here, not from the hotel room, but like they had their little puffy jacket on and their little Starbucks cup from outside, and they were ready to spend an hour at the casino before they went to work. I don't really know. I just know that at 9 o'clock in the morning in a casino, I didn't expect it to be as crowded as it was at 1 a.m. at the casino. And it was just as crowded at 9 a.m. as it was at 1 a.m. And you know, I know that this is, I don't, this says something about me, I guess, but when I think of like hardcore gamblers, honestly, I think of like older people, retired people. I think of retired people. Yes, there were some, but no, people of all ages. I mean, 21 and up, all ages, all races, all kind of fancy clothes, not fancy clothes, like all walks of life. A lot of Native Americans, but then again, this was on the res, so there you go. But plenty white folk too. I had a really fun night the night before. And then the next morning, I was like, wow, this is a harsh toke of reality, man. Like, I feel like the glamour was just ripped away. Because in the middle of the night, you know, Emerald Queen Casino was so fancy and sparkly and was the most Vegas-like casino I've been in outside of Vegas. It was a really great, it was sparkly and shiny and neat. And the next morning, it's decorated the same way, and it's just as dark as it was the night before, but it didn't seem sparkly or shiny or neat at all. It was kind of creepy. So, yeah. Yeah. And Verity, maybe they put on a really good breakfast? No, I mean, they do have different restaurants, and the one restaurant that we ate at the night before probably did have a good breakfast because they had really good food. But like the coffee shop, we got coffee at the coffee shop. That was the worst coffee I have ever had in my entire life. And all the pastries and stuff were just like, you could look at them and tell that they were stale. They were just gross. So no, I don't necessarily think it was the breakfast that was bringing them in. And, yeah, Pinnell, I've heard of that. Some people in Windsor got arrested for leaving their kids in the car while gambling. Yeah, I've heard of that. But you know what? And as awful as that sounds, let me just tell you right now, something equally awful is, you know, people, not so much anymore, but back in my day, people would take their kids to the bar and leave their kids in the car while they were drinking in the bar. I mean, which honestly is maybe a little bit worse. I almost want to say the casino one is worse just because in the casino there is no clocks and they really don't want you to know what time it is. Whereas in a bar, like, there is a closing time. There is more of a sense of time. Like, oh, I've put down 7 drinks. That usually takes me 15 minutes or an hour and a half or however many, you've got a vague metric of time when you're in the bar. Whereas in the casino, it really does seem timeless. And so, suddenly it could be 12 hours maybe, and your kids are in the car for 12 hours. That's horrifying. I mean, that they need to be arrested for that. But like, and frankly, if you're leaving your kid in the back of the car for a bar trip, you probably need to be arrested for that too. But I just sort of feel like, it would be easier to not hit that 12-hour mark just because the bar's closed. Yeah, exactly. And that is exactly it, Trail Dust. So stuff looked gross when I was hungover. Who would have guessed? Exactly. And yeah, exactly, Picola T. Most places, the bars have a last call. I think in New Orleans, there's no last call. I think in Atlantic City, there's no last call. I think in Las Vegas, there's no last call. I know there's no last call in Reno. I want to say Miami doesn't have a last call. And I think there's one other city that doesn't have a last call. But for the most part, yeah, last calls exist. I mean, I think even in New York City, last call exists. I think it might be 4 a.m., but at least the last call does exist. But I'm not sure exactly what time that is. So can you guys remember, do you guys know of any other cities that I didn't list that might be open 24 hours with no last calls? Because I know, like, I wonder if Savannah, Georgia is one of those other places that doesn't have a last call. Because Savannah strikes me as a town that just wouldn't have a last call. Does anyone know? All right, let's see here. So, okay, here. How about this? Yeah, none in Wisconsin. Definitely none in Washington, legally speaking, that is. But, okay, you guys, here is something that I wanted to show you that I got off the interwebs just the other day. It looks like this past year, this past year was really super rough for Hawaii in regards to the film and television industry. And it turns out, it looks like this year in 2026, things are starting to get back on track again. I don't know if you watched it or not, but last Sunday, a couple hours after the Chatter with Statter live stream, Andy Bumatai came on for a Black Hat session. And so he was online for maybe an hour or so, and he spoke of coming back to his stream on December 19th. However, there's a chance that might not happen. And one of the reasons why it might not happen is because he has been tapped to perform in a proof of concept sitcom, I believe, television show that is going to be that's going to be filmed sometime in the next month or so. And that is super cool because basically it sounds like it's a television show about high school in Hawaii, and they specifically wrote a character with him in mind based off of the character that Andy played in High School Days. If you remember from Andy Bumatai's movie High School Days, he was the janitor looking back on stuff. Well, in this particular show, he'll be playing a janitor as well. I don't know whether or not the show is going to is going to have him as that character once it actually gets a pilot, or if he's just for the proof of concept. It sounds like, though, since the role was written with him in mind, that they probably have it in mind to carry him on with the pilot, and if the pilot gets picked up, then with the series. But there's a whole bunch of who knows between then and now. But not only is Andy getting more better opportunities, everyone apparently in Hawaii who's in the industry is finally starting to get some traction again. And here's a news story about it.
Hawaii's film and TV industry has been quiet for months, but new signs of life are emerging. And for local workers whose livelihoods are at risk, it could not come soon enough. Jill Kuramoto reports.
For veteran film and TV hairstylist Ralph Milani, this past year was rough. Only 15 days of work on a couple of small productions compared to his usual packed schedule on multiple sets. So when he got the call about Jason Momoa's next project,
if I could physically do a backflip when they called, mentally I did several, but yeah, it was, I almost cried because I have honestly gotten to the point where I didn't know what I had to do next just to pay my bills. So it came at the perfect time.
For Ralph and an estimated 7,000 local hires like him, Hawaii's production drought wasn't just slow, it was devastating. But now there's momentum. 3 major productions are slated for early 2026. Jumanji, the next installment of the blockbuster franchise, expected to be on Oahu in March. Untamed Season 2, Netflix supernatural adventure series, filming in February on Hawaii Island. And the action comedy starring Andy Samberg and Jason Momoa, also landing here early next year. A Lilo and Stitch sequel is expected later next year. And then there's momentum on the independent film side, including Makavalu, a feature film by 8 native Hawaiian filmmakers, executive produced by Daniel Day Kim.
What this project is really aiming to do is increase the profile for homegrown projects.
Hawaii International Film Festival leaders say their new initiative, HIF Studios, aims to provide the legal and financial support independent filmmakers need. And the state's support of the creative industry goes hand in hand.
Filmmakers and creative storytellers are not just being in supportive roles for Hollywood productions, but creating stories here that are very homegrown for the world marketplace.
And state creative industry leaders also say rebuilding that system from Hollywood productions to local creators is what they're hoping to do through larger tax credits and increasing the $50 million production cap.
Across the U.S., 30% is the baseline. We're at 22%. And so you see it just really erodes the idea of even coming to Hawaii. We are a competitive destination. We always have been. But as the industry changes, we haven't been able to keep up our competitive edge.
But for those like Ralph, all the incentives and support becomes real only when the work comes back.
And one of those series is expected to move in here at the Diamond Head Studios sometime early next year, which is great news for those industry.
With major productions returning, 2026 may finally see the action they've been waiting for. Jill Kuramoto, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
Hawaii's film.
All right, so there you go. It is coming back, and I have no idea if it's just a coincidence with Andy's potential happening and then this also happening, but I have a feeling it's not a coincidence. Whatever it was that was causing all these productions not to choose Hawaii, it sounds like it has shifted enough gears that people have decided to come back, and so super stoked on that. Now, is there a second season for Chief of War? I have no idea. I have not heard that they've signed it yet. When I first heard that it was a Momoa production, I was like, yeah, Chief of War. But they're like, yeah, you know, the comedy with Jason or Adam Sandberg or whatever, whoever it was. It's like, oh, that's Adam Sandler. That's not that. I mean, I'm curious what the movie's going to be, but it's like, but that's not Chief of War. Adam Sandler has no place in Chief of War. And let's see here. A widely circulated claim that season 2 of Chief of War would feature native Hawaiian warriors battling Mark Zuckerberg is a satirical fabrication from The Onion and is not factual. Of course, the show's creators have confirmed they are focused on authentic history telling, not fictionalized modern conflict. Well, of course. How could you? I mean, that's anybody who thought that that was what season of War Chief of War Season 2, anyone who believed that that was going to be the case obviously knows nothing about that story. But, yeah, I don't know whether or not they're going to do a second season of Chief of War, but I sure hope so. But even still, it's good to know that Momoa is going to be in yet another production. in Hawaii. Words are jarred. That is exactly true. That is exactly true. But you know what isn't hard? Kittens. And it's been a couple weeks since we had our kitten break. And so wait, hold on. Carrie in Scotland is saying, although no official release date has been confirmed, estimates suggest that season 2 could arrive in late 2026 or early 2027 based on typical production and post-production timelines. Well, yeah, but have they even signed the contract yet? And if there's, I 1000% do not believe that it's going to be, see, Chief of War will not be in 2026. I will eat my hat. Where did it go? Oh, I will eat the hat that Andre gave me if it's off. I can't grab it. Otherwise, I'd show you the hat. It's a Pabst hat. I'll eat the hat that Andre gave me if Chief of War is in 2026. That just doesn't make sense because because Jason Momoa already is in production with other things. And then no, it's not going to be 2026. I'll bet you. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I could talk about Jason Momoa forever, but I'd rather talk about kittens. So here's kittens. And what's even more exciting about these kittens is there's a new kitten in the house. I don't know if you can spot her, but we've got the usual 6, but then another kitten who's right around the same age needed a foster family. So she has entered the room, and the new kitten's name is Thursday. And the new kitten is in this series of pictures. I don't know if you can recognize old kitties versus new kitties, but if anybody has an idea of which kitty might be Thursday in all of these pictures, I will let you guess before I tell you who Thursday is. But Thursday is a beautiful, beautiful kitty. And, all of these kittens are very cute. And I want most of them. But I especially want the black one. But, okay, nobody's guessing? Oh, don't give Photo Luke any more kittens. No, I will not give Photo Luke any more kittens. Pocola T, is it the tuxedo? It's the tuxedo cat. And Trail Dust, your Thursday is black. Well, this Thursday is black and white. And she's a tuxedo kitty with the most beautiful, beautiful white whiskers. And you'll see her in just a second. Look at that beautiful face. Look at those. Oh, no. Go back. No, go back. Go back. God dang it. I wanted to stop it. Pause it. There we go. Stop the media. All right. There we go. Oh. All right. I'm going to do something here. God dang it. No, that's not what I want. Here's the kittens. This is what I want. Okay. Now I'm in control. I think that this boy and this boy should be adopted together because orange kitties and black kitties always go well. But this is the kitty. Look at that. Look at those luscious white whiskers right there. And her fur looks so thick and soft. The other cats, their fur doesn't look nearly as luxurious. And I know I have such horrible language, but look at her little whiskers. Oh, they're just so cute and pretty. I've never, ever in my life wanted a tuxedo cat. They've never, ever been of interest to me. But suddenly I'm like, oh, such handsome tuxedo. And then this little girl, she's so cute. What? Look at me. I've got little freckles on my nose. I'm a freckle-faced freckle girl. And then freckle-faced freckle girl showing her belly. Look at that belly just waiting to be rubbed. Oh my goodness. And then, oh, it's time for spoons. Everyone loves to play the spoons. And then there's Mr. Orange. totally orange, just nothing but tangerine mean. He looks like he's got an attitude. He looks like he's all angry. He looks like you didn't give him enough wet food. And then of course there's little black kitty, who goes very well with the little orange kitty, because orange kitties and black kitties, they belong together. And then I suppose an orange kitty and a tuxedo kitty could work. Oh, there you go, Pecola T. She also has pretty white paws. We call the white paws on our tabby her Jimmy Choos. She's got to choose her Jimmy Choos shoes. Yes, little Jimmy Choos. That's so cute. And you know what? If she had little pink paws, I would pretend they were Louboutins, like with the red soles. But I happen to know that she's got black paws. So they look like little tap dancers on her feet. She's got little taps on her little tap feet. And so there you go. That is the kitten update. And they're officially 2 months old by now. And there you go. And I don't know who's getting them, but it sounds like my coworker, who's the one who ended up with the pregnant mom at her house where all the babies happened. It sounds like she's thinking of taking 2 kittens. So I don't know which 2, because one of the kittens that she really wants to take already has multiple people who want that kitten. And Tareen just groaned. She does not want a kitten. There you go. And have I officially decided another kitty or not? Officially, no. I have not decided. However, I do think if I were to get 1 kitten, I would need to get 2 kittens, because kittens really do need another kitten to be another young cat to play with. My cats are like almost 11 now, and so they would be good guidance cats, but in regards to like the level of play that these cats need from another creature, my cats are well beyond those years. And so I would probably need 2. And if I was going to get 2 kitties from this litter, I would probably want the 2 orange boys together. Even though I told myself I'd never get another orange kitty, I'm working around that by saying I'm not getting another orange kitty. I'm getting 2 other orange kitties. You see how I found a loophole there? But I also know that one of the orange kitties is semi-spoken for, which only leaves the other orange kitty. And I don't want just one, because I can't have another orange kitty. I've vowed not to have another orange kitty. But if I could have 2 orange kitties, then I would. And since I can't have 2, I guess I'm going to just have none. Kittens, the cat distribution network, I'm well in the cat distribution network. So just because they don't land on my doorstep this time doesn't mean there won't be more. But you guys, if I did get 2 orange kitties, I was going to name one of them Nacho and one of them Cheese, and then together they would be Nacho Cheese. Wouldn't that be a cute name for 2 orange kitties? Nacho Cheese? What would be other good names for 2 orange kitties besides Nacho and Cheese? Because I haven't thought about this at all, y'all. No, no, I haven't thought about it at all. Not one iota. And, let's see here. Your sister's younger kitty wouldn't leave you alone. Her older one hid. That's exactly it, dude. They need someone of a similar age range. So otherwise they'll just drive you insane, basically. And Mac and Cheese. Oh, that's even better than Nacho. Because Mac's a good name. I mean, Nacho's okay, but Mac and Cheese, they're okay. I like that one too. Cream and Sickle. I don't know, man. The orange one would have to be Sickle. I don't know if I like that one. It reminds me of sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell. If I had a yellow and orange or yellow and white cat, I would like to name it Creamsicle. But I don't know about cream and sickle. I don't know about that. Because sickle, it reminds me of anemia. Sickle cell anemia, I think. Isn't that what it is? We're going to call it that. That's what it reminds me of. All right, you guys. So we've got 1 minute left until the bottom of the hour. Actually, that's a lie. We're at the bottom of the hour. It just turned over. So it's time to say goodbye. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out today and chitter-chattering about dolphins getting high on puffers. Puff, puff, pass, man. Don't forget the sponge for your nose. And all of those things. Hopefully we will see each other on Saturday in our Secret Squirrel location. If I remember correctly, we're going to be watching Inside Out. It is an animated Disney movie. I think it's a Disney movie. It might be Pixar. Maybe they're the same. I don't really remember. And it's called Inside Out, and it's been brought to us by Terry in Scotland. And so I want to thank Terry for knowing a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy who can get some things and stuff, which we then share here. And yeah, so there we have it, Rabbit. And let's see here. Yeah, so Andy Bumatai may or may not be back on December 19th. But before that, we'll still be hanging out. And then one last question before I let you guys go. Is Photo Luke on tonight? Does anyone know? Is Photo Luke going to be on tonight? I saw he was on yesterday at a weird time, and I didn't quite catch it. I was busy doing stuff, but is he going to be on tonight? Anyone? Bueller? In a half an hour, he will be gone. Okay, cool. Well, then I think we might see each other in Photo Luke's world. At least I hope we do. All right, you guys, have a good one. Thank you so much. Thank you, mods, for hanging out. I don't think you needed to do much, but I like that you're here anyway. All right, take care. We'll see each other